Once upon a time, in the heart of a gentle valley, there was a meadow that stretched as far as the eye could see. It was called the Whispering Meadow, not because it was loud, but because it spoke in soft, soothing ways. The meadow woke each day with the first golden rays of sunlight. Tiny dewdrops shimmered on the blades of grass, catching the soft glow of morning. In this peaceful place, animals of all kinds lived happily, knowing they were safe and cared for. At the edge of the meadow stood a wise old oak tree named Grandmother Oak. Her branches stretched wide, offering shade to the animals on warm days and shelter during rain. Birds chirped gently from her limbs, and squirrels nestled in the hollow of her trunk. One calm morning, a curious little rabbit named Willow peeked out of her burrow. Her soft gray fur glistened as she sniffed the cool morning air. "Today feels special," she whispered to herself. Willow hopped over to the stream that danced through the meadow. The stream always sang a quiet song as it trickled over smooth stones. Beside the stream, a turtle named Moss was sunbathing on a rock. "Good morning, Moss," said Willow softly. "Good morning, Willow," replied Moss, blinking slowly. "The meadow feels extra peaceful today, doesn't it?" Willow nodded. "I think we should visit Grandmother Oak and see if she knows why." As they walked together, the soft breeze carried the scent of wildflowers, lavender, daisies, and sweet clover. Bees buzzed gently, moving from bloom to bloom, their hum blending with the rustle of the wind. When they reached Grandmother Oak, they found a family of sparrows chirping quietly in her branches. A fox named Fern was curled up beneath her, resting in the cool shade. "Good morning, Grandmother Oak," Willow said, her voice as soft as the breeze. "Good morning, little ones," the oak replied, her voice deep and calm. It sounded like the earth itself was speaking. "What brings you here today?" "We were wondering why the meadow feels so special today," Willow said, her nose twitching. Grandmother Oak smiled. "Ah, today the meadow is preparing for a visit from the evening star." "The evening star?" Moss asked, tilting his head. "Yes," said Grandmother Oak. "Once a year, the evening star visits the meadow to sprinkle it with stardust. The stardust helps the flowers bloom brighter, the streams sing sweeter, and the animals rest more peacefully." The animals were quiet for a moment, letting her words sink in. "Can we stay to watch?" Willow asked. "Of course," Grandmother Oak replied. "But first, let's invite all the other animals to join us." Willow and Moss set off to gather their friends. They told the deer grazing near the edge of the forest, the family of otters playing in the stream, and even the gentle barn owl, who usually slept during the day. As the sun began to set, the animals gathered beneath Grandmother Oak. The sky turned shades of pink and gold, then deep purple. One by one, the stars. As they walked together, the soft breeze carried the scent of wildflowers, lavender, daisies, and sweet clover. Bees buzzed gently, moving from bloom to bloom, their hum blending with the rustle of the wind. When they reached Grandmother Oak, they found a family of sparrows chirping quietly in her branches. A fox named Fern was curled up beneath her, resting in the cool shade. "Good morning, Grandmother Oak," Willow said, her voice as soft as the breeze. "Good morning, little ones," the oak replied, her voice deep and calm. It sounded like the earth itself was speaking. "What brings you here today?" "We were wondering why the meadow feels so special today," Willow said, her nose twitching. Grandmother Oak smiled. "Ah, today the meadow is preparing for a visit from the evening star." "The evening star?" Moss asked, tilting his head. "Yes," said Grandmother Oak. "Once a year, the evening star visits the meadow to sprinkle it with stardust. The stardust helps the flowers bloom brighter, the streams sing sweeter, and the animals rest more peacefully." The animals were quiet for a moment, letting her words sink in. "Can we stay to watch?" Willow asked. "Of course," Grandmother Oak replied. "But first, let's invite all the other animals to join us." Willow and Moss set off to gather their friends. They told the deer grazing near the edge of the forest, the family of otters playing in the stream, and even the gentle barn owl, who usually slept during the day. As the sun began to set, the animals gathered beneath Grandmother Oak. The sky turned shades of pink and gold, then deep purple. One by one, the stars began to twinkle, and the meadow grew quiet. Then, just as Grandmother Oak promised, the evening star appeared. It shimmered brighter than the others, casting a soft glow over the meadow. Slowly, it drifted closer, its light dancing like fireflies. The evening star began to sprinkle stardust across the meadow. Each tiny spark of light floated down gently, landing on flowers, grass, and the animal's fur. The deer's antlers glistened with tiny flecks of gold, and the stream sparkled as if it had captured the stars themselves. The animals watched in awe, their hearts filled with peace. Even the wind seemed to pause, letting the moment linger. When the star finished its work, it slowly rose back into the sky, leaving the meadow glowing softly under the moonlight. The animals curled up in their favorite spots, feeling calm and warm inside. "Thank you, evening star," Willow whispered as she nestled into her burrow. The meadow hummed gently, as if whispering back, "Rest well, little ones." And so, under the watchful eyes of Grandmother Oak and the twinkling stars, the Whispering Meadow drifted into a peaceful, quiet night. The morning after the evening star's visit, the meadow awoke gently, bathed in soft golden light. The flowers shimmered with tiny specks of stardust, their colors more vibrant than ever before. The stream sparkled and sang a melody so sweet that even the birds paused to listen. Willow the rabbit stretched her little legs and blinked at the morning sun. "What a beautiful day," she whispered to herself. She hopped out of her burrow and wiggled her nose. The air smelled fresh, like wild mint and honey. As she made her way to the stream, Willow noticed something curious. The stream's song was different today. Usually, it hummed a cheerful, flowing tune, but now it seemed to carry a softer, almost mysterious melody. At the edge of the stream, she found her friend Moss, the turtle, resting on his favorite rock. He was humming along with the stream's new tune, his eyes half closed. "Good morning, Moss," Willow said softly. "Good morning, Willow," Moss replied, his voice slow and calm. "Isn't the stream's song lovely today?" Willow nodded. "It's beautiful, but it feels different. Do you know why it's singing like this?" Moss opened his eyes and looked at the water, which sparkled as it danced over the smooth stones. "I don't know," he admitted. "But maybe we should follow the stream and find out." Willow and Moss set off together, walking beside the stream as it twisted and turned through the meadow. Along the way, they saw their friends waking up. A family of deer sipped water from the stream, their fur glowing softly in the morning light. A pair of dragonflies flitted above the surface, their wings glimmering like tiny rainbows. Even the shy hedgehog named Thistle peeked out from the tall grass to listen to the stream's melody. As they followed the stream deeper into the meadow, the song grew clearer. It wasn't just a melody, it was a story. The stream was telling a tale, one carried by its gentle flow and sparkling waters. Finally, they came to a quiet grove where the stream widened into a shallow pool. In the center of the pool stood a smooth, moss-covered stone, and sitting on the stone was a small, glowing creature. It looked like a tiny star, with soft golden light shimmering around it. "Who are you?" Willow asked, her voice barely above a whisper. The glowing creature turned toward them and smiled. "I am Lyric," it said, its voice as soft as a breeze. "I am the keeper of the stream's song." "The stream's song?" Moss asked, tilting his head. "Yes," Lyric replied. "Every stream has a song, and each song carries a message. Today, the stream is singing about the evening star's gift. It's telling the story of how the stardust brought new life to the meadow." Willow's ears twitched with excitement. "That's why the flowers look brighter and the air smells so fresh." Lyric nodded. "The stream is also singing a message for you and all the animals of the meadow. It's reminding you to listen to the world around you, the rustling leaves, the buzzing bees, the whispering wind. All of nature has a song, and each song carries wisdom." The animals gathered around the pool, listening to Lyric's gentle words. Even the birds perched quietly in the trees, their heads tilted as if they understood. "Can we learn the stream's song?" Willow asked. "Of course," Lyric said. "Close your eyes and listen. Let the stream's melody guide your heart." Willow closed her eyes, and so did Moss. Around them, the other animals did the same. For a moment, there was only the sound of the stream, a soft, flowing tune that seemed to weave itself into their thoughts. As they listened, they began to feel something warm and peaceful inside. It was as if the stream's song was reminding them of all the simple, beautiful things in life, the gentle sway of grass in the wind, the warmth of the sun on their fur, the quiet comfort of being together. When they opened their eyes, Lyric was gone, but the stream's song continued, filling the grove with its soothing melody. Willow looked at Moss and smiled. "I think I understand now. The stream's song is a gift, just like the stardust. It reminds us to appreciate the magic of the meadow." Moss nodded slowly. "And to share that magic with others." The animals stayed by the pool for a while, listening to the stream and feeling connected to the peaceful world around them. When they finally returned to the meadow, they carried the stream's song in their hearts, humming its gentle melody as they went about their day. And so, the Whispering Meadow remained a place of calm and wonder, its beauty growing with every song, every whisper, and every starry night. After the animals learned the stream's song, the meadow grew even more peaceful. Each day, the animals carried the melody in their hearts, humming it softly as they went about their gentle lives. But one day, as the golden sun set behind the hills, a soft, curious wind began to drift through the meadow. The wind danced through the tall grass, brushing against the flowers and rustling the leaves of Grandmother Oak. Its touch was gentle, yet it carried a whisper, a secret it seemed eager to share. Willow the rabbit, always curious, felt the breeze tickle her fur as she sat near her burrow. She tilted her head, listening carefully to the wind's soft whispers. "What are you trying to tell us?" she asked. The wind swirled playfully around her, then rushed toward the stream, where Moss the turtle was resting on his favorite rock. Willow followed, her nose twitching with excitement. "Moss," she called. "The wind is speaking to us. Do you hear it?" Moss blinked slowly and listened. The wind brushed gently against his shell, making tiny ripples in the stream. "I hear it," he said. "But I don't understand what it's saying." Just then, a flock of sparrows landed nearby, their feathers ruffled by the breeze. "We hear the wind too," chirped one of the sparrows. "It's carrying a secret from beyond the meadow." "Beyond the meadow?" Willow's eyes widened. "But we've never gone past the hills. What could be out there?" The sparrows fluttered their wings. "The wind says there's a place where the stars meet the earth, a place filled with wonders. It's inviting us to follow." Willow's heart leapt with curiosity, but Moss looked thoughtful. "The meadow is our home," he said slowly. Do you think it's safe to leave? Grandmother Oak, who had been listening quietly, spoke in her calm, wise voice. The meadow will always be here, little ones. Sometimes, the wind carries us toward new adventures, but it also brings us back home. If the wind is calling you, perhaps it's time to see what lies beyond. Encouraged by her words, Willow and Moss decided to follow the wind. A few other animals joined them, the sparrows, a curious fox named Fern, and even Thistle the hedgehog, who rarely ventured far from her cozy patch of grass. The wind led them gently over the hills, its whispers growing clearer as they walked. The journey was calm and beautiful, with soft moonlight guiding their way. They passed fields of silver-blue flowers that glowed faintly in the dark and crossed a bubbling brook that laughed quietly as it flowed. Finally, they came to a wide, open plain where the grass sparkled as if sprinkled with stardust. In the center of the plain stood a small, shimmering pond. The wind swirled around it, creating tiny ripples on the surface. "This must be the place," Willow whispered, her voice full of wonder. As they approached the pond, they noticed tiny lights dancing above it, like fireflies, but softer and more golden. The sparrows chirped in awe, and even mosses. Calm eyes widened. The lights seemed to hum, creating a melody that blended perfectly with the whispers of the wind. Together, they formed a song so gentle and pure that the animals felt their hearts fill with warmth. "What is this place?" Fern asked, her voice barely audible. The wind seemed to answer, carrying the sound of the light's melody to their ears. "This is the meeting pond," it whispered. "It is where the sky touches the earth and where the stars share their light with the world. Every whisper of the wind and every song of the stream begins here." Willow stepped closer to the pond, her reflection shimmering in the golden light. "It's so peaceful," she said softly. The wind swirled around them again, its touches gentle as a feather. "You've listened to the stream's song," it said. "Now listen to the light. It has a message for you." The animals closed their eyes, letting the light's melody wash over them. It wasn't words they heard, but feelings, calm, joy, and a deep connection to the world around them. The light seemed to say, "Carry this peace with you. Share it with the meadow and all who live there." When they opened their eyes, the lights began to rise, drifting higher and higher until they joined the stars in the sky. The wind grew softer, wrapping them in a final, gentle embrace before settling into a calm stillness. Willow looked at her friends, her heart full. The meeting pond has given us its gift. Let's take it back to the meadow. As they made their way home, the animals carried the light's melody within them, just as they had carried the stream's song. When they returned to the meadow, they shared the story of their journey with Grandmother Oak and the other animals. From that day on, the meadow seemed even more magical. The wind's whispers were sweeter, the stream's song was richer, and the stars above seemed to shine a little brighter.